this friend who's trying to tell me something. And lastly, they look at the engagement, likes, comments, and shares. And that's kind of at the bottom. That's why this is the last thing that people look at. So this is the way that people consume content. Okay, next please. So having said that, these are not rules, these are tips. You have 3 seconds. This is tip number 1. You have 3 seconds. As Steve Jobs would say, be bright, be brief, be gone. So you have 3 seconds to capture people's attention. So here in this example, Starbucks Singapore actually looked at the weather forecast of the next day. And then they saw that it was going to be rainy. So they scheduled their post, and this is an animated post, it's just not playing right now, that it's raining frappuccinos. So you can imagine that it's very relevant. So what people see in their mobile is kind of relevant to what's happening around them because it's raining. And Starbucks is saying, like, hey, weather forecast, it's going to rain frappuccinos. Come get a venti frappuccino, buy one, get one. So they were very smart about the timing. They tried to make it as relevant as possible, and it works. Next, please. The second tip that I have for you is you need to write captivating messages. Maggie did this very well. If you notice, it's a 2-liner message, or 1 line. I mean, 2, including the hashtag. Basically what they said here is that nothing says I love you more than home-cooked meal. And that is something that just resonates across cultures, right? Because everybody loves a home-cooked meal. It's an effort to prepare, breakfast for someone. And it matches the picture. It's very unbrief because they did it during Valentine's Day. They were very short and direct about it. Nothing about Maggie, right? It's about you and what you do for the people that you love. Next. The third tip I have for you is that do not advertise or do not post for the sake of posting. This is a waste of your time and a waste of your money. There should always be a goal on why you're posting that content. So, for example, this restaurant is specifically asking people to visit their store and try their new steak with poached egg. That sounds really good. McDonald's was introducing this new crispy chicken sandwich. And Starbucks is all about building their brand. So whenever you post something, whenever you advertise something, do not waste your money. Make sure you have an objective in mind. Next, please. My fourth tip is that tell us a story. And Starbucks did this very well. You have to be authentic to your brand, to your product, to your voice. Starbucks knew we're not all about coffees. We're all about the people behind the counter preparing a very personalized coffee experience for you. So if I go to this Starbucks branch in Singapore and I see these 2 guys, I immediately establish a connection. It's like, oh, I saw these 2 guys, and we can chat up a conversation. So this is Starbucks being very authentic to their brand and telling us a story. It's not just about their coffees, but there are real people behind it. Next, please. Lastly, you have to know your audience. Same restaurant, 2 different target audience. So on the left, the restaurant is basically saying to the young people that, hi, we're open until 4 in the morning, come and have a drink with us. While on the right side, they're targeting a bit of an older crowd, probably not going to stay out until 4 in the morning, and they're saying, oh, we're open as early as 5 p.m. Come and have dinner with us. So as you can see, same restaurant, but they understand the 2 types of audiences who come to their restaurants on a daily basis, and they target them with very different messages. Next, please. Okay, let's look at some examples. One thing that the Philippine Tourism Board, did very well is this campaign. I don't know, have you seen this campaign before? So we know that hashtag or the slogan for the Philippines is it's more fun in the Philippines. But what they're trying to do is to get people to come back. So they said, visit us again. And it's very smart because if you notice, they said behind every amazing travel photo is a couple of photo fails, right? So this guy was trying to get a picture of the sun, but was completely off. The sun was here, his finger was here. So basically, what they're trying to say is that, it's okay if you have a photo fail. Come back to the Philippines and do it again, which is very smart. So they asked people to upload photos of their photo fail. and hashtag it here so that they get a chance to visit the Philippines again. Why is this very smart? One, very clear objective. They want people to upload photos. And this is something that people already do on the platform. So they use Facebook to encourage that kind of behavior. The second thing is that they don't have to produce any content. All of the content produced was coming from the consumers. They don't have to produce fancy photos and all those things. And three, it's very authentic, and that's what people love. So this campaign generated a lot of attention, and it really, really worked. Next, please. The second one, if you notice, is a square milkshake. And the designer of this milkshake, he's a French guy who's living in the US and trying to sell milkshakes to teenagers. And he realized that most of his audience are actually on Instagram. So he changed the shape of his milkshake to match Instagram. So instead of your normal round glasses, he made it square so that it photographs well on Instagram. So that's one way of thinking about how you can change the product to match the platform and not the other way around. Next, please. Okay, so these are just some examples of the milkshake that he created, and he takes beautiful photos of them. Next, please. Okay, and some of the bigger companies like Downy, they do have a TV commercial. But if you notice, they did not just copy and paste their TV commercial to Facebook. They actually designed something that's specifically for the platform. Very much the same, but they considered that people consume Facebook content very differently, and they designed something very specific to the platform. Next, please. Okay, so if you need some more creative inspiration, you can snap a photo of this. You can check out this website. We have some creative examples. So if you need some more inspiration, you're not really sure where to get started, you can look at our gallery and some of our creative packets. So I think we have one for spa, we have one for restaurants. So if you need some inspiration, this is a good place to start.